Hello, this is the Swedish guy. Once again coming with the Swinglish. Today I'm out at a place called Hovs hallar in Sweden. It's a rare place in Sweden to find rocky and stony formation like this along the coast. So I really enjoy being at this place and learning and trying to find composition, because there's a lot of leading lines and rule of third, and you can really play around. And I also was thinking about giving 3 why I think you should start shooting manual while doing landscape as soon as possible. Don't wait, just start learning and enjoy the process. I was hoping for a bit clearer sky, or I'm hoping that the sky will open a bit, but it doesn't look like I have the weather with me today, but I think I will find some nice composition and beautiful photos anyway, but I won't get the real condition I really wanted. I wanted a bit more wind and movement in the water. It's quite still, as it often is in the morning, but the weather apps had a bit more wind. But yeah, I will try to find some nice composition and try to give you the first reason why you should shoot manual. Well, the weather is not on my side today. The sun is supposed to go up on that behind that hill. The sunrise has been for 20 minutes, and you can see the sky don't crack open. So, but I have found a composition that I quite pleased of. And the first reason I think you should start shooting manual right away is when you're doing landscape photography, especially around water that are moving. Today we don't have that much wind, so there's not much movement in the water, but there's still a bit movement I don't want to have there. So I can control that with the shutter speed. If I have a fast shutter speed, it will freeze the waves or the movement, but if I have a slow shutter speed, I can get a bit more smooth surface on the water, and to me more appealing. And of course it's not always about slowing down the movement. If you want to shoot crashing wave, you have to have a fast shutter speed. And if you then don't shoot in manual and the camera decides the other 2 reasons I will talk about later, then you won't get the exact movement you want. You won't freeze that crashing big awesome wave, or on the other side you won't freeze the water like you want to. Of course you can put filter in front of the camera, but the camera will still decide which shutter speed you will have if you don't shoot in manual. And if you have say approximately 12 seconds shutter speed, the water might sometimes, it could be beautiful sometimes as well, but sometimes it will become a bit too smooth. You won't see any movement at all. And sometimes you want to see a bit movement but a bit smoothness. So you will be able to control the level of smoothness or freezing the wave if you shoot shutter speed in manual. I will show you the composition I have found. As you can see in this composition, I am trying to angle for a leading line going along this stone formation and up to the bigger stone. It's not a mountain, it's more of a, it's not a mountain, it's more of a ridge going up. And I also have some reflection along the water from the mountain. So I hope this won't get too messy with too much point of interest. I'm hoping the eye will go like this and, leading line over to this point in this area. And I got some movement in this water, so I will try to with some filter, remove it and make this a smooth scene. Started the drone and I was trying to fly, and suddenly from nowhere I'm looking into the screen and the drone just dropped. So there won't be much drone footage today because, as you saw, a propeller broke. I'm not happy with this drone. It has happened 3 times before, not just dropping but lost control, or it started to flimmer, or it started to just go away by its own. I will never feel safe with this drone. I've been walking around and found another beautiful composition I think will work, with some leading lines to a point of interest. Small little island out in the water. I will show you in a minute, but the second thing I wanted to talk about is aperture, of course, because aperture decides how much sharpness you can get all the way through the photo. And I have done this mistake so many times. I find a perfect composition and I shoot in manual often, of course. Speaking about shooting manual, and I had the aperture at 2.8 and also tried to do it focus stacking, and I had a nice composition, nice weather, sunset and everything. I've done this so many times, and when I come home and post-process, 2.8, approximately 15 meters into the photo, it starts to be a bit unsharpening. So when you are shooting manual, you can decide to go up to f11 or f7, depending on how far you are off into the distance with the point of interest or the leading lines. So if you have a mountain really far back, why not go f16 so you get the sharpness all the way? And there are different techniques, of course, to do even more sharpening with focus stacking, but if you're just starting out, I should recommend trying with the aperture only and using high aperture, so you get a long sharpness, but not too high. Often it's not good to go up to f22 maybe. Approximately about 8 to f16. f8 to f16 is often quite useful. It's depending on the scene, but around there, go and elaborate and try with your camera. I will show you the composition. Here I have the composition, and I'm trying to make this a leading line and this a leading line to this point of interest, so it's more of a jump with the eye that's going from this to this small island to this and further on. So I hope that will work, and I'm going to try to shoot at f11 or f15. So now I've finally eaten some breakfast. My stomach is pleased. I was a bit hungry. It's always nice to eat outside in the nature. But this brings me to the last point of the 3 why you should go manual, and that is ISO. Because with the ISO you can control how much noise you will get in the photo. Of course, this is not a really big deal, but there are 2 issues with this, and that is if it's too dark, the camera will try to go high in ISO, and then you will get a lot of noise, and the camera will do that because it will try to make the perfect exposure. But if you go in manual, you can control that and instead elaborate and fix it with the shutter and the aperture, so you get as clear photo as possible with as low noise as possible. And also you can, this is a bonus tip then, you can regulate the exposure, because sometimes the camera will expose perfect, it thinks, and it will be a bit overexposed in the highlights, and it's hard to edit that in post-process. So my recommendation is go manual as fast as you can and try to comprehend ISO, aperture and shutter speed, and elaborate with those 3 combined, and you will get a much better result. And then you can upgrade to focus stacking and all other techniques. And I found a beautiful scenery with some birds. I will try to shoot it with my telephoto lens, a long range lens. But after that it's time to go home. If you find this video enjoyable and you get some use of it, please consider subscribe, because I will try to make more videos of this, and you will see more sceneries of south of Sweden, and hopefully I will go to travel soon to Norway maybe, or some other places. But it would be nice if you subscribed, and I would hopefully see you again. Until then, ha det gött from the Swedish guy in Sweden.